Join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
Yeah,
Okay, oh my God.
So we're talking about PMAC, and then we're talking about drink, and drink makes me think about fluid, and then fluid makes me think about water, and then water is always level. Isn't that right, Cheepy?
Wait, sorry. What'd you say?
Water's always level, isn't it, Cheepy?
It's a trick question.
I'm just wondering, is it always level?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that work on a globe?
Well, it's not always level, technically.
What do you mean, always?
Okay.
If you look at
tide
at a small enough scale, like if you get surface tension, water curves.
Okay, so if we're ignoring meniscus, right? We know what meniscus is. So talking about large bodies of
Wait,
water.
meniscus? What the?
Yeah. Meniscus.
Hold on, I've never heard that term referred to for water.
Yeah, it's where there are certain fluids that will climb up the side of the
meniscus is a curve in the surface of a molecular substance when it touches another material. Oh,
So
wow, I've never heard that word. Thanks for teaching me something new.
There's always there's also a meniscus in your knee, which is completely different.
That's traditionally what that's what I knew meniscus as.
Fair enough. Well, there might be a link between the two. I don't know if there's a link between the two, but there might be. But the point is that some fluids will climb up the side of a wall, right? Up the side of the container, and others will they'll kind of hump in the middle, and they'll actually climb down the sides, right? But we know that that's not what we're talking about, so we ignore that because everyone knows that meniscus happens, and that's not what's claimed to be happening on large bodies of water anyway. So if large bodies of water are level, how does that happen on a globe?
Isn't like water just conforming to the shape of the Earth?
To what shape, though?
To shape of the container, or not container, but
the point,
I guess technically, it's a container. The ocean, like the landmass, is the container. The water is within that container.
But the landmass isn't capable of forcing the water into a curve on the surface, because that's not the nature of water.
Well, I guess physics explains it as gravity keeping water.
Surface tension.
Well, no, he's not making that argument.
No, that's on a small scale, right?
I know. Yeah, he says gravity.
Gravity on a bigger scale.
What the fuck is that?
Gravity is doing. So how do we test for that? How do we? So it's been asserted, but then how do we attest that that's actually happening?
How do we test it?
Yeah, how do we? Because you're saying that the surface of water is curving, right? So how do we test for that?
I guess I don't know, just through observation.
So, but when I observe water, it looks flat to me.
Yeah.
Do you see curvature of water?
No, we're talking about gravity, right?
Well, no, you just said observation. So we're observing something. When do we observe curving water?
I'm sorry, Cheepy.
I guess
to the
on a big enough scale, you can't really observe it, right?
But then if you can't observe it, how do you know it's happening at all?
We can observe gravity, the effects of gravity.
No, you observe things falling down when you drop them. You don't observe. But how do you, so then how do you... so I just picked up a bottle, right, and I dropped it. So it went downwards. How does that equal curving water?
Well, we're explaining the force that keeps the water on the surface of the Earth.
I'm trying to lead you down a certain path.
If the Earth curved and gravity keeps the water on Earth, then the water would curve along with the Earth.
Right.
But it's on a big enough scale that we can't observe it with our naked eye.
Perfect. Okay, so that's what's called a begging the question fallacy, right? So what that means is that you've already had to assert that the Earth is curving to then use that effect to then come to the conclusion that the Earth is curving. So you've put the truth of the conclusion in the premise. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it. I'm assuming that what science tells me is correct.
Well, no, it's not even about what science tells you. You have put into the premise, if the Earth is curving, then when I drop something, that effect can then be used to explain that water is curving without observing curving water.
No. So what we're saying is that water falls down because of gravity. Gravity keeps the water on the surface of the Earth, right?
Right.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And if gravity keeps water onto the surface of the Earth, and the surface of the Earth curves, then I guess you can. I don't know.
Cheepy, even you don't believe that. Come on, now.
So that's begging the question, right? So if the Earth is flat,
why wouldn't I believe it?
Okay, so can I just explain that again? So you've got a specific effect where water is coming straight down. Yeah, that's not necessarily true, but it's close enough. The water goes straight down. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would happen if that effect was on a flat Earth? Would the water curve?
No.
So then, in order to get curving water, which is your evidence for a globe, you've had to assume a globe in the first place. So that's begging the question.
No, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you've done, bro.
Yeah, that's making shit up, bro.
It is.
But
Go ahead.
all right. So how can you tell that water doesn't curve?
Because
Well,
we're
I don't
told
observe it to curve.
Because you can't observe it, right, with the naked eye.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't
we
observe it.
Yeah,
That's simple.
but what if the Earth is too big to see it with your naked eye?
Well, that's whataboutism. That's not evidence. I mean, what if the Earth is a giant tortoise?
That's not what they're telling us, though. What the experts are saying is that they gave us the size. That means 16 feet of drop and 5 miles. This is easy to see with the naked eye.
Yeah, it would be, but let's stick to the philosophy just for a moment. Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about whataboutism, you could say, well, what if the Earth is a tortoise, but it's just a really big tortoise, right? Well, yeah. I mean, using that argument, you couldn't prove that it wasn't a very, very large tortoise, could you?
Unless we had pictures of it.
Right, but then now you're appealing to evidence to go against my unfalsifiable.
Appealing to evidence?
Yeah, that's what you should be doing, is appealing to evidence, right? You're saying, well, if we had evidence, then we would know it's a tortoise. Okay, but that's the point, isn't it? Is that when you make an unfalsifiable claim, that's the problem. So I've made an unfalsifiable claim of the Earth being a tortoise. You've made an unfalsifiable claim of the water is curving at a scale that we don't observe.
How is the tortoise claim unfalsifiable?
Well, because I've said, oh, what if it's just really big?
What?
How are you not getting this?
It could be a tortoise.
But we can take photos of the Earth. That's the difference.
Go on, then. Go ahead.
Aha.
That's what NASA's for. But you don't But you don't think NASA is real?
No, we don't have any photos. It's not that they're not real. There's no photos. There's only supposed one, which is debatable.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess technically speaking, right? There's no one single photo other than the blue marble. Everything else they're composites, right?
Well, the blue marble also isn't a photo, but it's the only claimed photo.
You're video experts. You're already halfway there, bro. You know they're faking it.
No.
Okay.
I like how Ronnie hijacked the conversation.
That was pretty good. Did you see that?
Did I?
Yeah, we were talking about songbirds and magpies.
Yeah, right. Crows and things. And then Jamesy called me up. It was 5:30 in the morning. It's 8:30
Does
at night.
anyone want to tell me what the name of the server is?
What?
Well, he has a point there.
Yeah, does
Okay,
anyone
but
want to tell me what the name of the server is? Anyone who's-
does it always have to devolve into a debate?
I know,
Can we
right?
just chill?
Can we just talk about shit?
We can chill, but do you remember what the conversation was immediately previous to that?
Songbirds.
Well, Gemsy and P-Mac were about to get in a bit of a scuffle, and I wanted to divert from
5G,
that, so-
5G frequency.
Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate
So,
that.
anyway, whatever. I'm about to go, so you guys can pick up whatever you
Oh,
want.
no, man. Really?
I have to go anyway. I'm about to start work.
That's wonderful. We might not agree on the shape of the Earth, but we can both agree that it sounds nice.
What shape is flat?
The shape of blues, baby.
Do you see flat as an adjective or a noun?
I see flat as something to be avoided. I want my women to have curves. Wait, we're... Oh no, here comes the soundboard. Who was that? Creation Bear?
Put some respect on my name.
Okay.
You guys can't help but troll the topic. It's like you can't get serious. Y'all aren't sincere about this.
Who's y'all?
You, ding dong.
I don't represent the globe earthers.
You represent
Speaking about
yourself.
you directly. You're one of the less sincere people that come through here.
I'm one of the least sincere.
Yes, that's what I just said. Holy smoke, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you get serious about the topic. Even about your own worldview.
Okay.
Why is that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. Do you know?
I think I could probably guess why someone wouldn't be very sincere about this topic, regardless of what side of the fence they're on.
Okay.
I call it the snowball effect. So,
Snowball
once the
effect?
snowball gets rolling, what happens? It usually gains a little bit of steam, might even turn into an avalanche. There's a lot of people, they don't want that ball to get rolling. So you come here and goof off, oh yeah, flat, my curved women, blah, blah, blah. That's funny and all, like we've heard that a lot, but it's like,
Okay.
is there a time when you're gonna be able to get serious or somewhat sincere?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, right now, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So the Earth is a globe. What's that mean?
Could you, Cheepy, how about this? Could you give us
10 seconds?
It's about to be the top of the hour in 5 seconds. Do you think you could give us like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of sincerity, perhaps?
Yeah. I'll be sincere about me not wanting to get serious about the topic.
All right, dude. So lame. You guys are so lame, bro.
Your problem is you don't have one argument for what you believe in. That's why you walk around joking about everything, because that's the only thing you can do. Because the only thing that makes sense to you is ridicule, because the whole thing that you believe in is ridiculous.
Look, Cheepy, it's not that we're like, we're not even picking on you. Like, we're picking on the information that you've chosen to take as your own. Like, we're from the same camp. We were just like you.
And like, look, we have a lot of fun here. We do music, we have jokes and stuff like that, but there's a time and a place to get serious as well. There's a time and a place for the jokes. If you're all jokes all the time, then what's the point? Why are you here? So how about one more shot? You think you could give us a few minutes of sincerity?
What's that?
You weren't even fucking listening.
Am I muted? Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. No, it's
What did
Like,
he
here's a
do?
challenge. Could you find a topic
I've been
that's
serious before.
meaningful to you
I just wanted to hop in and
that we
vibe.
could
That's
stick
all.
on? Cheepy, listen. Do you think you could find a topic that's meaningful to you? Something that we could drill into, something we could talk about for a few minutes. Something
Right
that's
now?
relatable to the topic. Anything?
Sunset.
What
Choose wisely.
what interests you? What's your interests? What's your interests outside of this internet thing? You know, like,
What are my interests, like personally?
yeah. Maybe
Uh,
we can relate that to something about the topic.
I got a good one. Running. I like to run.
We like to run.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
seen that. We already know that.
See, there we go. I set it up for you. There we go.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
that's what you guys trained to do.
Hiking, running, photography.
Run from claims, run from the argument.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I mean, we know how you fight at this point. We know what the plan is. Have you done anything differently in approaching this one?
Yeah, just I guess running a lot more.
Exactly. All right, Cheepy, seriously, bro, come on, dog. It's been 3 minutes past the hour. What is a topic that we can focus on for a few minutes? Something that's valuable or meaningful to you.
To me, as far as my view on whether the Earth is a globe or not.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sunset. Explain sunset.
Cool.
All right, so can we focus on sunsets for a few minutes?
Yeah.
You're not going to run away from the sunsets claim.
No.
Okay. So why don't you make an argument or make a case why sunsets is valuable or meaningful to you?
Well, it's evidence of a globe.
How?
Okay, go ahead and make an argument or make a case, my friend.
All right. The Earth rotates on its axis. And evidence for that is the sun setting and rising
Wait.
every day.
Real quick. That's the claim.
What do you observe?
We're all well aware of the claim. I'm asking
I
you
observe the sun setting and rising every day.
Sir, I'm asking you to make an argument or make a case, not just restate the claim. We know the claim. So repeating the claim isn't necessary. Can you make the argument? Make a case.
Pretend you're in court, man, and you're trying to prove that the Earth is a globe by using sunsets. Go. Your time.
Well, I've heard it explained from you guys that the sun sets.
It's not about us.
Wait. You brought up sunsets in relation to a globe. So we all are well aware of the claim. It's not like you need to repeat it as if no one's heard the claim. So now I'm asking you, since you brought this up and you said this was meaningful to you, can you make the argument? What is the argument? Can you make the case? It shouldn't have anything to do with, well, flat earthers don't believe. That's not part of your argument. So
just you and the sunset. That's all you need. That's it. You, the sun, and the earth. Anyone else would be an uncontrolled variable. You wouldn't be able to use their input because if they change their mind, you would then have to change yours. See how that's an unworkable situation?
I think as a mediator, I can kind of be like that kind of person that I think what they're trying to ask you there is if you could now provide the evidence to back your claim, because like was said, we know what the claim is. Now you would, to make a case of it or to make an argument, think of it like as in a court of law. You would present the evidence along with your argument as to why this is a strong case to be made, right? So
no, not even evidence. You just got to give an argument. You don't have to give the evidence yet. Just for the next couple minutes, go. What is your argument?
We can observe the sun and the stars moving in the sky.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the sun and stars move in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you observe.
Yeah.
So how do you then equate that to the opposite, say that the Earth is moving?
Yeah, like to provide a correlation between like the first part of the statement and as to why. So the sun, the moon, and the stars are moving through the sky. That makes a correlation that it is us that is moving and not the other way around. So you'd need to make a case for that or argument.
All right, so we can observe stars moving in the sky, right? But that doesn't inherently say whether the Earth or the sky is moving, right?
Correct.
But we can measure the rotation, right, with the
Incorrect.
We can't. So we can't measure it.
Nope.
Why not?
Because what you're doing is you have a pendulum that just goes and does things. So first you need to observe the Earth spinning. Then you can say, okay, we see the Earth spin. Then you put the pendulum into place, and if it spins at the right rate, well, you can use that as evidence. But it's not really. You're trying to confirm the Earth spinning. Now, to use a pendulum as confirming the Earth is spinning, it doesn't work, because then everything on that Earth would have to rotate at the same rate as the pendulum. So therefore, put a helicopter in the sky, Earth rotates underneath like it does the pendulum. Therefore, you would not need to fly anywhere. You could just hover in the air. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure I don't know enough about pendulum and the mechanics to actually argue.
You don't need to know about pendulum mechanics, because the pendulum. So it says that the Earth is rotating underneath the pendulum. So if that is the case, then the Earth rotates underneath everything. Yeah?
The Earth rotates under everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can make that conclusion based off of that.
Well, that's the only conclusion you can make. Because that's the claim that they're using with the pendulum. This pendulum is not, it's attached to the frame, which is attached to the Earth anyway, so it's silly. But they say that it's on a free swinging, whatever, with hardly any friction. Yeah. So the claim is the Earth rotates underneath the pendulum. That's how we know the Earth rotates. If that were the case, the Earth would rotate underneath everything that is not attached to the Earth. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does.
Bruh. Does?
Yeah, I think so.
So planes, helicopters.
But there's also gravity that keeps the atmosphere in.
Okay,
which
so how do you
moves along
separate
with the rotation of the
pendulum?
Earth. What's that?
So that would affect everything then, wouldn't it? Even the pendulum. So gravity affects the planes and the helicopters from looking like they're not moving under, the Earth is not moving underneath them. So therefore, gravity would affect the pendulum to make it look like it's not moving underneath the pendulum. You can't just pick and choose, like, well, the pendulum says so. Oh, but what about planes and helicopters? Oh, well, it doesn't work with those. It can only be one thing.
Yeah, but also a plane isn't like swinging back and forth in place like a pendulum does. I like I said, I'd have to look into it more.
Hold on.
Understand the mechanics
We
of the
can look
pendulum.
in the pendulum. Well, yeah. So pendulums don't freely swing for 24 hours. So they have a motor, which is magnetic motor, which swings the pendulum. Now, can that magnetic motor swing the pendulum in a wrong direction? Because first of all, you need to set the pendulum at 0. So what they have to do is they go, okay, well, we need to set the magnets so that it swings at 0. But 0 to them is 15 degrees per hour. So they have to set their magnets, what they think is 0, at 15 degrees per hour because they say that the Earth spins at 15 degrees per hour. So how do you get 0? Yeah? You understand what I mean?
No, I don't, because I don't know.
Because otherwise, they have a magnet either side. So if they set the magnets and it doesn't spin at all, then they say, oh, one magnet's stronger than the other because it's not letting it spin. So they weaken one till it spins 15 degrees per hour. They say, oh, okay, that's at 0 because the Earth is spinning at 15 degrees per hour. Do you understand the ludicrousy?
I got to look into it more.
You don't know how the pendulum... You don't know how the Foucault's pendulum works, do you?
No, so I don't want to waste your time on...
Okay, you just used it as a proof.
Right?
What?
Yeah.
You realize you presented the pendulum.
No, I realize I presented it, but...
So, like, why would you present something you're not fully aware of? Like, why would you... What's the point?
Because I trust the science that I've been taught.
That's not science.
You don't even know what to trust. You just told us you don't really know.
Why do you find that so funny?
You brought up something like, what's the point of bringing up something that you're not fully versed on? Why bring it up, though? That's the question.
Why not?
Yeah, the question is, how do you not find it?
What rule says that I
can actually back up? You said, well, we know X because of Y. And then we go, okay, so how do you know about Y? And you're like, well, I don't. So how do you know X then?
Yeah, okay.
That's a question. You said we know the Earth moves because of pendulums. Then we ask you, okay, so what about pendulums? You're like, I don't know. Okay, then how do you know the Earth moves then?
Okay.
Or maybe you don't. No, just
that's a good point.
That's okay if you believe it. That's fine. But you did say you know. So we're just holding you accountable to the things that you said. Sorry.
I believe what I've been taught.
What have you been taught?
Science.
That's what we're still waiting for.
It's not like you live in a vacuum, brother. We were all raised the same way as you.
Okay.
We're at the stage now where we're like done with just trusting people or just believe me, bro. We're at the point where we're testing things. Okay, they say it's a pendulum. What does the pendulum do? That's the point. We go into things
and it's okay. Look, it's okay to say, I believe what they taught me. But you have to actually add in there that they taught me this without any evidence. Because when they taught you that the Earth is a globe, the Earth is spinning, and we live in a vacuum, they actually didn't give you any evidence for that when they taught you that. Otherwise, you'd give us the evidence for it. Yeah?
Well, I'll tell you this. Maybe I can't personally reproduce that or produce the evidence for you.
Don't worry, no one can.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Yeah,
well, then Cheepy, instead of just believing that there's a vague entity out there somewhere with all the answers, we're telling you that doesn't exist. Instead of just believing that, why don't you go find the answers then?
You trying to get in, Hoss?
Yeah. What you've been led to believe is science is actually pseudoscience. It's not a big deal. I wouldn't take it personally. We were all duped.
I don't think it's pseudoscience.
Well, look into it, pal.
Well, I don't think you know what science is, bro. You kind of need to know what science is to know what pseudoscience is.
What is science?
Probably not what you think it is.
Well, I'm asking you, what is science?
Just taught the science.
Yeah, what science is it you're chanting about?
Science?
Yes.
Science is a method, right?
You should know this.
It's a method used to, I don't know, investigate, confirm natural phenomena.
Cause and effect.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is pseudoscience then?
Tell me where I'm wrong then.
Well, what is,
I heard
what
the
is
sound effect.
What is pseudoscience?
Anything that isn't that?
Anything that doesn't use the scientific method.
Yeah. I think that's
So if something claims to be science, or you were given science, but it's not adhering to the scientific method, then what is it?
Pseudoscience.
Yeah, there you go. Because a couple minutes ago, you're like, "Well, I don't think that's pseudoscience." Well, you just answered your own self there.
No, you just asked me what the definition of pseudoscience was. Anything that isn't science.
That was prior to you saying, "Well, I was given the science," and someone said, "Well, maybe
Yeah,
you were
it doesn't
given
mean just because, like I said, I can't produce the evidence for you. Doesn't mean that whatever the subject is pseudoscience. It's just me personally can't give you that information.
Don't worry. We're trying to tell you that entity that you think exists that has the answers. They don't. They simply
Scientists,
don't.
people who do it for a living.
Yeah, Cheepy.
Yes, I know. Again,
Listen, the people that you're bowing down to are admitted
Bowing down.
pseudos. Listen,
Bowing down to anyone.
they're admitted pseudos. That you're whatever you want to call it. They're admitted pseudoscientists.
I'm trusting. Yeah, that's
Yes,
different.
whoever the people you are trusting are admitted pseudoscientists.
Who, for
in their
example?
own words.
I can
bring
play
up
the
Neil
clip.
deGrasse Tyson because he's just a science communicator.
No. How about?
Yeah, they all are.
Oh boy, see, this is what's funny.
Science.
I'm
In
looking
one
at
breath,
the memes in the chat. That's why.
hold on. In one breath, you'll say that you trust these entities, and then when we present those entities, you're like, "Oh, well, not that guy." You guys do
But
this.
he's a science
all-
communicator.
No, well, don't worry. No one presented. We're not talking about Neil deGrasse
communicator.
Tyson. I can play a clip. I have a clip for you that clearly lays out not Neil deGrasse Tyson telling you that these scientists that you're talking about are doing this is pseudoscience.
All right, let's see it. Curious.
Yeah, well, why does science need to be communicated, Cheepy?
Why does anything need to be communicated?
Because you
Why are you
clearly
communicating?
don't know.
Why are you
You don't have
communicating
to-
your stance?
Well, because
Figure it out.
people like you remain vastly confused.
So that's the reason why.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
For you,
Boss
yes.
doesn't have a title.
So-
that says flat Earth communicator.
So why do
Yeah?
teachers communicate information to students?
Hold on,
Because
bro.
because they have a job, and they're just as duped as you are.
Yeah. So
Yeah, let's hear the
teachers
clip.
think Spanish
Going
has an
off into the
agenda.
woods, JP.
Holy smokes, dude. Hold on. Let's play the clip first before we move on. Is that okay, Cheepy?
Hey,
You're
listen,
like, well, I
there's
don't think
three
they
other
actually
there's
said
three other people talking to me, so I'm sorry.
Yes, Cheepy, I'll answer your question. The introduction of insisting everyone speaks Spanish is an agenda. Now, are you ready to listen to the clip?
Wait, say that again. The insistence of what?
The insistence of everyone taking Spanish as a second language for the last 2 decades is, it definitely is part of a program. Now listen to the clip.
What? That's a crazy claim.
Yeah, so are some of the claims that you're saying here as well. But here you go.
In science, we always say that you make observations, you have a theory, you go make more observations, and it's a very, very tedious process. Wrong. Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
That's it? Is there no more context?
Isn't that enough?
What does
Hold
that
on.
prove?
What did you?
Astro.
Holy shit, man! Go
Can
ahead.
I get
guys.
the rest of
Play
the
it for
clip?
him again.
Where'd you get this from?
Look,
That's Michio
don't-
Kaku. Do you know who that is?
I know Michio Kaku, yes. He's a theoretical
There you go.
physicist.
the people you
Are you
trust,
gonna throw
right?
him under the bus?
Huh?
Oh my god! Right, 2 minutes ago you said that you trust the scientists, you trust the experts.
Yeah, no, I know. I just wanted to get more
But now that we're presenting those people to you, you're like, oh, well, not them. I don't trust them.
You presented a soundbite. I'm asking for the clip so I can get more context.
Well, what do you think?
What
Based off
context
what
do you
you heard,
I'm not
Yeah,
going to
based-
think. I want to know.
Hey, Cheepy, pertaining to what we're talking about. Cheepy, pertaining to what?
I just want to hear the rest of the clip.
holy smokes!
Hey, Cheepy, pertaining
Send
to
me a
what
link.
pertaining to what we're talking about, that's plenty of context. That's all the context you need.
No, it's not. It's just a soundbite.
Yeah, it
that you
is.
got.
Well,
I don't know
listen
what
to
the
it again.
context was. What was the end?
Listen-
I need some
Guys,
context.
Hold on, Cheepy. What did you hear?
In the clip, Michio Kaku was basically saying, we don't utilize the scientific method. We just fly by the seat of our pants. We just make leaps of logic.
Okay,
But
so if I were
I need to
give you
hear the rest of that clip.
I'll pull up the interview for you. Well, what is the missing context here?
I don't know. I can't tell you what the missing context is.
But how do you know there's extra context? That's what I'm asking.
Exactly. I want to know if there is.
He prefaced it with, in my field, comma.
Yes. And what field is that?
His astrophysics dream world.
No. What? Quantum physics, right?
That you are referring to, Cheepy.
Huh?
Oh my God, bro.
I know, but I just need more context.
This is what happens. You guys prop up these entities, this vague entity, this panel of experts and scientists over there.
Can
in the
I
corner
get the rest of the clip?
Just hold on. You guys put up this vague panel of people that you trust in, and then when we actually go to those people, you're like, well, you throw them under the bus. I'll get you the clip, but
I didn't throw them under the bus.
You
asked for more context.
Neil deGrasse Tyson under the bus before we even presented anything.
He's a science communicator.
Yeah.
What does that imply? What does that imply? What's the implication of him being a science communicator?
Everybody just stop.
Pseudoscience.
Yeah. That's your label.
In this mindset, you're going to throw him under the bus. I guarantee you. Even though I'm telling you this, you will still throw him under the bus, even when you hear more information. Guaranteed. I would bet
Michio Kaku?
In your mindset, no. In your mindset,
Listen,
I guarantee you will throw this person under the bus just like everyone else does without regret.
No.
Here's the thing, though. It's not just because Michio Kaku said it, or it's not just him. The point is, this applies across the board, bro. People use science like a buzzword, a Boy Scout badge they have pinned to their chest. It's not that. It's a very strict method. And if you're not adhering to that, then you're dealing with pseudoscience, period. So you didn't need to hear this from Michio Kaku. It's just
every scientist doesn't adhere to the scientific method.
This is the problem. But you're talking about this vague entity again. Every scientist?
I'm just saying. Is that like the case?
Let's start with something specific. Who?
Only scientists adhere to the scientific method.
If you're not dealing with the scientific method, then you're not dealing with science, period.
It's a verb. Science is a verb, not a noun. You guys turned it into a noun to make it seem like that person over there, with identity, their identity being scientist, can be trusted because of who they are. Not what they do. It's what they do that can be trusted because it's repeatable. I can watch that person do something, follow their method, and if what they said is true, I should get the same result. And then you could do it, and your neighbor could do it, and someone else could do it. And everyone keeps getting the same result. Then you compare the results and say, look, this is most likely the cause of this effect. It doesn't need trust. Trust is built, a lack of trust is built into the system. Because if you just trust somebody, then what's the point of science? Why would you have to do it? Why would you have to repeat it? If they just do it once and they get a result, and you say, I trust it, that's the most anti-science thing you can say, is that you trust the science. It's a complete contradiction.
I don't think most people have the capacity to, do these experiments
You're selling
themselves.
people short.
What?
You're
selling people short.
And I think that's just objectively true. There's a lot of science that we can't do.
Thank you for
money or the equipment or the time.
You're speaking in such vague terms. All the scientists, all the science. Bro, if you got to be a little bit more specific. I also posted the interview for you. It's a 3-hour interview, so have fun with that.
You know where that soundbite is?
Hold on, Cheepy. You just told us that sunsets prove the globe. Well, now why are you talking about time and money and all this expertise? Where is the science in sunsets proving that the Earth is a spheroid?
What's the flat Earth model?
No, I'm asking where is the? You said sunsets.
What is the explanation for a sunset on a flat Earth?
Hold on, bro.
Pump those brakes, homie. Calm down.
I mean, you guys are asking all these questions. Can I ask a question?
Well, why are we trying to get? Remember, I said we're going to try to stick to something, and then instead of you running away from the thing you brought up, let's try to stick to it.
Yeah, no. We're talking about the sun.
Yeah.
What is the alternate explanation for the sunset?
There
If
is
it's
no
not the globe model.
You said
So
it yourself.
Explain how the sun sets on a flat Earth.
The term sunset's a misnomer. Now, how is a sunset proof of a globe?
Right.
Because the sun dips below the horizon.
On
a flat Earth.
That's begging the question fallacy. You assume that it's going down. You're not looking at a lot of different variables like perspective and the vanishing point and the mirroring and all the other effects that happen at the place of the horizon.
If it was a vanishing point, the sun would never dip below the horizon, but we see it dip below.
Listen, you're just reifying what you just said before. You're begging the question that it's going down below the horizon when it's never going down below the horizon.
So what happens to it then?
Why said it yourself.
Why does it go away?
Listen, what do you experience when you see it?
I see the sun going away.
You see the sun. During the day, what do you see the sun doing?
I see it move across the sky.
Move across the sky. Okay, great.
And then eventually,
hold on. Wait, I don't want any more. Wait. Just relax. Now, when the moon, what does the moon do in your experience?
What does the moon do?
Yeah, like I asked about the sun. What does it actually do in your experience?
From what I've observed, travels across the sky.
Yeah, it travels across the sky. And what about the stars? What did they do in your experience?
They travel across the sky.
Right, in a perfect circular pattern over our head, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you sense any of this motion at all?
No.
Okay. There you go. You know why you don't listen. Oh, don't laugh. Wait a second. You know why you don't sense, you know why you don't feel any movement? And how you know that?
Why?
Your vestibular system. That's why. Yeah. It's set as a balancing system for your body, and it's using liquid at level inside your ear. This endolymph that is in your inner ear goes through semicircular canals, and it also has other places, one called a cupola, which is a piece of gelatin-like substance with nerve endings all the way around it and different places, specific site locations of these nerves. Whenever anything is moved, that liquid moves over to the left, right, back, forward, and any other angle. It knows that you're not still anymore. It knows that you moved your head in like very minute degrees of a degree.
But isn't it detecting like it's not detecting the speed, right? Because speed is relative. It's detecting rate of change.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I just told you. Your inner ear detects complete inertia, no movement.
It's the change. It's the change of movement.
No,
it's the change of movement.
Wrong.
No.
I've studied this for 10 years.
You studied this for 10 years where?
Yeah, I worked in a hospital for 13 and a half years. I've studied the vestibular system for about 10 years. Myself.
What capacity?
So listen, as somebody that's interested in anatomy, biology, and the human system. So anyway, I digress. So it knows when you're sitting still.
Yeah, but what does still mean?
Still means no motion. And also, guess what?
No motion?
Yeah, it's your vestibular system senses
like absolute motion?
Complete inertia. Stillness.
Okay. What is inertia?
Hold on. Guess what? Tied into this, it's tied into your optical nerve system, into your brain and the optical nerve. So it's tied to your eyesight as well.
Yeah.
So while you're conscious, you know by your eyes and your vestibular system, and it's tied into all of your musculature, all the nerve systems, goes to your balancing system of your body. So it knows when certain muscles need to be activated to stay balanced.
I get
Otherwise,
that.
you topple over, right? So this part of your vestibular system.
I get all that.
So guess what? That means that you can feel every other, not only motion, angular change in your head, any angular motion from stillness, your vestibular system detects this, all of it. So you would have to describe how this magical gravity is affecting the endolymph in your ear, which is set at level, just like all the other liquids on Earth.
We're talking about the sun.
And how something is affecting this system to not do it. Wait, I'm not even done. You need to tell me how your magical gravity is affecting the vestibular system to not do its job. Go.
Because down, right?
What?
Down is the same everywhere.
What?
Down is the same everywhere.
What the fuck does that have to do with what I just said about the vestibular system? By the way, weren't we talking about the sun and how it dips below the horizon?
Oh, you got to pay attention, bro. Wow. You brought up the sun as to say that that's evidence for the Earth moving.
Dude,
so now you're
bricked
right what now. Movement has to do with the sun. This was your example, ding dong. Pay attention, bro.
Ding dong. That's cute.
Yeah, pay attention. You know what's cute? What's not cute is just not following along.
Yeah,
this was your example. Cheepy, bro.
I get it.
I asked you, what is something that is valuable to you? You said sunsets. Then we asked you, okay, make a case. You said, well, sunsets equals Earth moving. Now you've tried to flip it on us. Okay, you guys explain it. Sonny went into the vestibular system and explained why you detect movement.
Am I not allowed to ask questions?
With sunsets?
Am I not allowed to ask questions? Because you guys have just been asking me questions this whole time.
Just make your
Can
argument.
I ask any questions about your model?
There is no model, dude.
There is no model. So how do you explain these natural phenomena?
Holy smokes, bro. Just chill out for a second. Because you're all over the place. Sonny gave you a proper rebuttal, and you're like, but down. Then you're like, but what does that have to do with the Earth moving? You got to pay attention, bro. This was your claim that you brought up. Now we're offering you a rebuttal, and you're asking, what does that have to do with my original claim? Focus.
All right, so the reason why I said down is because no matter where you are on the Earth, down is the same for everyone.
Not for me and you. If you think it's a globe, that's not true.
But listen,
no, it is true.
You have to show specifically.
For me, it is.
If we live on a globe and you point up, and I'm on antipodal to you, and I point up, we're not pointing in the same direction.
When I jump, right? When I jump off of something, I go down.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
What?
There's a difference in direction. If we live on a globe.
Okay. Yes, right? Absolute direction. Right? I get that. But I'm saying we feel down the same everywhere on Earth, right?
What do you mean feel down?
Like when you jump and you fall down. That's the same for anyone on Earth.
Well, yeah, what happens when you drop a helium balloon?
It goes up.
So what's your argument here? Because I thought we were talking about the sun, right?
Yeah, it goes up. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, so what I'm saying is,
what are you trying to tie this to?
All right, so he was talking about the vestibular system?
Yep.
All right. So,
yeah.
So I get that, right? It detects like angular change and also like any change in rate, right? I get that, but it's all relative. Like for example, if
wait, relative to what?
To whatever reference point, isn't it?
The reference point is level water in your ear.
What's
fluid in your ear? That's what the reference point is. What else? Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, for example, like if you have two cars driving on the road and they're both.
No, we're not going to cars. No, not even in
you already said that you don't know how the Earth is moving. So
cars are closed systems. Your Earth is supposed to be open. Please do not digress like that.
You would have to go back. Then we'd have to go back to you saying you know that the Earth is moving, and then we'd ask you how.
Yeah, and then I'll ask you how you know
the example of two cars moving in relative. We know how relative motion works. That's fine, but you'd have to prove that the Earth is.
But it
Right.
doesn't apply to the ear, the inner ear. It doesn't.
All right, that's fine.
So listen.
All right, all right. So all right.
Listen,
All right, all right.
hold on.
Can I
Stop. Hold on.
Can I speak, bro?
Oh, no. Wait a second. When I say wait a second, just wait a second. It's okay.
You're not here in good faith, bro.
You'll be able to say whatever you want to when I'm done. So in order to counter my claim about the vestibular system, you would specifically have to show exactly how gravity affects the ear to not do its job. So do you have that information?
What was that again?
You would have to counter, listen, you would have to counter what I said about the vestibular.
Focus, bird brain.
You would have to counter it with.
Why do you got to insult me? Does that make you feel good?
Just relax.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Hold on. You would have to show specifically how gravity affects the inner ear to not do its job. Do you understand that? To not do it, that it would have a way of preventing the ear from doing its job. And you would have to provide that information. So do you have that information? No, you don't. Otherwise, you would have been.
Well, I'm not an expert on the vestibular system, so sorry, I can't provide any information on that.
I know that. I know that. Because you would have it though if this thing was true, because you would be able to show exactly how gravity affects the inner ear, but it does not affect it at all. And NASA will tell you so themselves.
Okay.
So you don't have that information. So all you have is your own experience that you're either moving or you're not, and you know you are, and don't let anyone tell you that you don't know, because your inner ear is the most precise, those double gyroscopes you have in your head are the most precise instruments that it far surpasses any kind of instruments that a human could even possibly make. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It controls everything we do about balance and our eyesight, if we're level, if we're in motion of any kind. So you would have to provide evidence against that to show that something else is preventing your inner ear from doing what it does. That's what you would have to provide. And yeah, you don't have it. I know.
All right, that's fine. Oh, by the way, I'm not here on bad faith, Creation Bear. I was just chilling with everyone before you came.
Yeah, it's okay, man. Don't get excited. Like, I get a little
I don't know if I agree with that, because Sonny was like, "Hey, give me a moment."
Fine.
Like,
You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to. Listen, I was vibing here with Sonny. I was listening to his blues. Awesome.
It's not sick.
Chilling.
You're not slick, dude.
What do you mean? Why
I asked you to pick a moment to get serious, and this is what happens. You get exposed. That's probably why you don't want to get very serious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cheepy, you were confused about why it was funny. Now it should be clear to you.
What?
Exactly. Wait, what? This is what I'm saying.
You're giggling too.
Sonny will give you a nice rebuttal. We all heard it, and you go, "Wait, what? Are you talking to me?" Yeah, the person we've been talking to the last 15, 20 minutes. Yes, you. That's why you're not here in good faith, in my opinion.
In your opinion.
You're kind of fading in and out of good faith.
Cool.
I would say maybe that's a better way to rephrase that. But it's just part of this globy tactic.
Maybe,
Wait, what?
maybe I just don't agree with you, and that's what you don't like.
I'm so sorry. I don't speak English.
That's fine.
Yeah, not only do we not not agree, I know you're completely lost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
You got the answers, right?
What's your question?
You can save me.
What's your question? No, you're gonna have to save yourself, pal. What's your question?
What?
Wait, what? Somebody speaking to me? Come on, it's not even. You're so obvious about it. Goofball.
That works here in this Discord, but in real life, that wouldn't work. I'm sorry.
People are thinking IRL as well, pal.
I would love to have a conversation IRL, bro. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I know, for real.
Yeah, because in real life,
you think there's no
more sincere in person?
People are using hundreds of fallacies like a day, like out in real life. Yeah, people are confused, just like yourself.
What would change if we were in person, Cheepy?
Huh? I'm just saying that's not
Wait,
that's not a good way to communicate.
What?
The way you communicate.
Via Discord? What are you talking about?
You mean being honest?
Oh, we already
every fifth statement is an insult.
Let's be clear.
Your feelings is a concession that you don't have anything to back. You're scared. That's all.
Cheepy, let it be known that I was the one who tried to break bread with you. Hey,
you didn't try to break bread. It was immediate. It was immediate.
So I was the one who said, "Hey, man, welcome. Like, do you think we can actually get serious? Let's break bread and start an argument." So this didn't start with insults. You started clowning, and that's what it's turned into. So this wasn't a joking fest to start with, but it's turned into that.
So this isn't what you wanted? This wasn't
bro.
Your goal?
No,
what was your
I told
goal?
you.
What was your goal?
This is what I'm saying, Cheepy. You're not listening. I asked you, why don't you find a topic that's valuable to you? That was the goal. And the fact that you're asking me again, well, what is your goal? Shows that you're not here in good faith. I've stated out very clear. Find a topic that's meaningful to you, and we'll stick to that for a little while. Because you don't like to be very serious or sincere when you're in here. So let's start off on a good foot. Pick a topic, and let's go into it.
So everything that goes on in this voice chat has to be exclusively for debate, whether the Earth is globe or not, or flat.
I don't know where you're getting that. It's a random rebuttal that has nothing to do with
that's what you're making it seem like.
There isn't a debate.
Debate's over.
All right, cool. Move on.
It's an educational stage at this point.
Cool.
You're like, well, I think the Earth moves. How? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, Sonny's telling you about the vestibular system. You're like, well, I don't know. So how could this be?
I don't know. I'm not going to be dishonest and say I know every little aspect of the vestibular system and what that implies on whether the Earth is a globe or not.
It's fine. It's not a requirement to know.
Yeah, so I say I don't know.
That's
but
fine.
You literally just brought that up as a point for me being in bad faith.
No, I've already explained why you've been here in bad faith. I've already explained that. So
yeah, and part of the explanation was me saying I don't know once people bring up certain points. And I'm okay to concede that I don't know.
You're being disingenuous.
Why does that sound bad? Okay.
Yet you cannot carry that over to the shape of the Earth. Hello?
All right, we're just going to go in circles.
No, Cheepy. What I'm saying is, why don't you stay consistent? If you can say I don't know about the vestibular system, why do you have to say, yeah, but scientists, and I trust the science? Why don't you say, I don't know?
I do trust scientists. I don't know.
Yet, but at the same time, I cannot
know something and also trust scientists. I don't think those are not mutually exclusive.
Why do we have to trust scientists?
Like, I go to the doctor when I'm sick because I trust the doctor to treat me.
Non sequitur.
Pseudoscience. All right.
Okay, here we go. There's your
now
automatic response.
Now you're off the rails. You're off the rails now.
All right, cool. Let's stay off the rails.
I'll say it. No, on the rails, genius.
No, I know. I want to stay off of it.
Yeah, that's
so
why you're not.
Why can't you keep? Yeah, why can't you keep consistent? When we start talking about the globe, why can't you drop an IDK? Too proud?
IDK. I trust the scientists.
There you go. Yay! Honesty.
But I said that already.
What's the debate then?
I don't know. You're the one who wanted to start this. You're the one who started this, right?
I'm not allowed to debate. So what's the debate? If you don't know, if you just trust the scientist and you're not allowed to debate, apparently we're not allowed.
I say you leave the server.
What is debate?
Who said that?
Sorry, Clipper, do you want to say that again, brother?
I think you should leave the server, man.
Cool, we got you. I can help you with that.
All right, let's do it. Well,
so he's looking for.
So what's the debate?
Wait, you kicked him?
Oh, he said he wanted to leave the server.
No. He wanted me to leave the server.
Oh, wait, what? Are you talking to me? So I kind of went Globey there for.
Why would we want such a contribute?
What's that?
So I kind of went over there for a moment. I kind of glitched out. I thought I know speak English. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
See, you've done this at least a few times in this discussion. Sonny gave you a nice rebuttal. You're like, wait, what? Are you talking to me?
To be honest, I'm multitasking. I'm doing like.
Oh, okay. Well, so was I. I didn't hear what he said. I heard him say that he wanted to be removed from the server, so I helped him out with that. That's fine.
Yeah, you can scratch this task off the list of multi because you're out to lunch. Try singular tasking, Cheepy.
This is what happens, bro. Do you have another topic? Maybe we could get back on track. So sunsets. You feel like we've wrapped that up, or do you still have questions about that, or what?
I think you should find another globe earther to talk to. There's Bra in here. He's a globe earther.
Oh, he doesn't know either.
Oh my god.
Who else? Where are the globe earthers? How many globe earthers are in here?
Like you're demonstrating exactly how scientific your science is. You're demonstrating it right now. You know?
Yeah.
You have nothing at all to back your religion of this spinning space monkey ball. Like
spinning space monkey ball.
Yeah,
where did you get that description?
Relax, dude. Relax.
Monkey. You think you're going to evolve to a space monkey? You think you're a monkey right now, don't you? Like your ancestors were monkeys, and now they're going to space, right? Isn't that correct? Why do you laugh? Tell me what is like? What's wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
He muted me. I couldn't speak.
Okay, just anyway, so
fake nice guy.
Sorry, CB, go ahead.
I don't know if there's a lag or what. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not, but this whole fake nice guy, I don't know what's going on act is just getting old, Cheepy. That's why I called you out to find a topic that's valuable to you, and maybe we can discuss it. So we made it, 10 minutes perhaps. So props to you. But let's get back on track, man. If you can. If not, we'll just move on.
Let's move on.
You said you were here in good faith, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying. I don't have an agenda.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I'm just chilling.
Okay.
So we can move on.
Give an argument for why you should trust a scientist when the scientist tells you not to trust them. Verify what they say. So right there, you've got a contradiction in your worldview. You said you want to trust a scientist. The scientist told you, okay, don't trust me. Listen carefully. Here's my method. Here's my practices. Here's my results. Verify it. And then you're like, okay, I'll just trust you. They're like, what the fuck? Are you brain dead? Like, even inside your paradigm of trust, you shouldn't trust a scientist. And if you trust a scientist that they're telling you the right stuff, they told you not to trust them. So, I mean, how are you holding this together, this massive house of cards? That everything is built on a system of trust that tells you don't trust it. Just explain it. Just how do you do that? Like, because are you atheist or you got some other side hustle going on that allows you to deal with contradictions?
No. I'm not a physicist. I don't understand the depth of physics. So I trust physicists to give me the right information.
We don't trust you.
I don't have the time to become a physicist.
Dude, you do physics every day of your life. Like right now, if you get up and walk to the bathroom to go or whatever to go to the bath, or to get a drink or to water your garden or whatever you do. Everything you do is moving through space.
Yeah, but can you
Your body's
explain
constantly
every
calculating.
variable? Can you explain
You don't
every
need
variable?
to. Your body's built into it to adjust to these things.
But that's what a physicist does.
How do you know that? You said you just trust them.
They
You don't know what
I took physics in high school.
Listen, they don't explain anything. We've had them in here, and you know just as much
Really?
as they.
Who have you had in here?
We've had physicists, we've had cosmologists, we've had astronomers, we've had PhDs in all different levels, master degree people from there's students like teachers, professors. We've had them all in here, and we've asked them the same question. They don't have an answer for curvature, rotation, or the vacuum of space. They don't have it. So I don't know who you're expecting
those
to give these answers.
Those aspects of the globe specifically?
You're trusting in these people.
How about everything else in science?
Is a blind belief. It's a faith. It's a religion.
How about everything else in science?
That's extremely vague.
Everything else? I don't know. What? Germ theory. Germ theory.
All or nothing fallacy.
Only if
Germ
somebody's
theory.
doing the
I'm
scientific
not saying it's all or
method.
nothing. I'm just saying.
What's the science? Or you're just painting a broad brush. All the science. Be specific.
Yeah, what science are you talking about, Cheepy? Which science?
Do you trust that a doctor can treat you for a certain?
That's got nothing to do with the server topic.
Yeah. Focus, bird brain. You're talking about the Earth here.
You see, there you go. Fifth statement, an insult. Nice.
For crying out loud, dude.
It's your behavior. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, it's my behavior. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, your lack
my
of
brain is literally a bird brain.
Yeah, there you go again, trying to avoid the server topic any way possible. You're probably glad that he insulted you so that you can talk about that instead of your globe proof, which doesn't exist.
Why? Just explain it. Why do you trust science when science says, in your own paradigm here, your own worldview? Okay, science doesn't talk. Okay, but if it did, because you think it does, if science is telling you don't trust it, verify it, and you say you don't know it,
I don't have
if
the
you
energy
don't know
for this,
it,
dude. Can we just move on? Someone else talk.
just think it out, dude. Follow your thought to a full logical conclusion and see where you end up. Think about your ideas and go step by step by step until you get to a conclusion. Then use your education and articulate your point of view. Tell your story. No one's going to tell your story but you. Here's your chance. Hey, dude, let's see what happens. Speak. Go ahead, dude.
Cheepy has come into a flat Earth server.
Fine.
And he's clearly abdicated his ability to think to other people, and so he comes into a flat Earth server, not knowing anything about his ball, his globe, but he's here anyway, and he says he's not smart enough to think for himself. He's abdicated the ability to think to other people. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, because the globe is all there is in life, right?
So JP, let me ask you a question. Do authorities have to prove their contentions just like everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay. So dealing with scientists or anything like that, it doesn't really matter, right? They need the evidence just like everybody else.
Oh my god, dude!
And what we're trying to tell you is, what we're trying to tell you
is this turning into a thing?
No, listen, dude. Listen, just settle down. I've been listening on the live stream. I've been listening on YouTube. So I heard some of what you said, and you think there's evidence out there somewhere, and we're just telling you there isn't. A lot of people believe this. Tons of people come in here and say, yes, I can't figure it out, but a scientist somewhere at some time, they figured it out, and I just trust that they did because my teachers told me they did. Your teachers, I hate to tell you, don't know any more than you do. They're like you. Somebody told them when they were younger that the evidence is out there somewhere, and they believe them, and it's just a perpetuated myth that's passed on like a tradition, right? Like Santa Claus or anything else. Believe me, we've looked for the evidence. almost everybody in here, what they tried to do is prove flat Earth wrong, and they looked for the evidence in the globe model. And then, like, okay, the globe says this, right? Like the Foucault's pendulum. The Foucault's pendulum precesses at some certain rate. Then you look into it, and that's actually not what's observed, right? So there's for instance, there's something called the Elias effect. So the Elias effect is this weird thing where the Foucault's pendulum swings backwards or goes too fast during a solar eclipse. Now, why does that happen? You'd have to reach the conclusion, right? If the Foucault's pendulum is if the rotation of the Earth is making what's the Foucault's pendulum precess, then during a solar eclipse, the Earth spins backwards or spins faster. Right? That's the logical consequence of the first logical statement. Right? So this is just an example I'm using. So you can look in each globe claim one by one by one. You can check them off. Coriolis effect, great circle routes from airplanes, greater than 180-degree angle triangles. You can just go up one by one. Then when you look into it, there's actually no evidence for any of it. To the point where it's almost scary.
Okay.
And that's all we're trying to tell you. We're not trying to convince you the Earth is flat. Like that's not what we're telling you at all. Okay. We're trying to brainwash you to think for yourself.
That's fine. I can accept that. Are we done now?
Yeah, I just want to, I know we come off like a little aggressive, but that's just because we get a lot of trolls. We get a lot of assholes in here.
I'm not trying to troll anyone.
Well, yeah, I know, but like we have a certain attitude to us, right? We have a certain attitude to us because our guard is up. Because we've been called retards, stupid, don't reproduce, drink bleach. I used to get freaking. I know, not you, right?
Anyone, yeah.
I know. I'm not saying you. I'm saying that we have a experience of dealing with people that come into this that isn't always pleasant. So our guard is up, right?
I
just like you had like 13 girlfriends in a row cheat on you. Your next girlfriend, you're going to be suspicious every time her goddamn phone beeps, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Indio, how did you know my girlfriend history? How'd you know that?
Damn.
Well, you got to stop picking up the girls at the strip club, then,
or at the local bar, right? There you go.
Or church.
Church. Yeah.
Damn, that happened at church. What kind of church you go to?
Look, you're only getting the smoke.
Church.
Because I don't think you're being sincere.
You can claim that, but
I think it's a fake.
Whose word are you going to take for that?
It's a fake nice guy act. That's why you laugh.
No, I don't think I've disparaged anyone in here. Okay. It's not fake.
Wait, what were you saying? Yeah, dude.
I don't boil anyone down to their belief on whether the globe is flat or not.
People are talking is another good example of why you're not very sincere when you're here.
All right, that's fine. That's what you believe.
It's not fine.
I haven't really had any issues with anyone except for you.
Okay, well, that's why you're getting the smoke, bro.
He's the person that's
you got called out.
Interacted with you. So.
What's that?
He's the person that primarily interacted with you. So I mean,
no,
it is what it is.
I was chilling in here with Sonny. I was listening to him play, and then there was another. We were talking about audio stuff earlier. I was talking about frequencies and stuff. There was
you know what we're here for. You said you were here in good faith. So then, like, if that's true, then why are you here? Is it just to goof off and talk about things that have nothing to do with why we're all here? That's why
this is not my job.
That's why you're getting the smoke, bro, because I know how you are.
I think this is just, isn't it a hobby for you guys?
I've called you out.
Isn't it a hobby for anyone in Discord? This is not my job. I just do it because I have time to do it. Just to hop in and talk to people.
Let's just be real.
I wouldn't classify it as a hobby.
I mean, like the whole Discord aspect of it. I'm not saying the belief in.
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't classify being on Discord, doing anything as a hobby. Hobby to me is like collecting stamps or making like model airplanes or something.
Or a pastime. Sorry, that's what I'm.
Yeah, that.
But I mean, I think the definition is interchangeable.
I think the globe is like a hobby. Actually, it's something that you do that
it is a hobby for some, right?
Doesn't deal with reality at all, and so it's just separate.
Well, I could see how this topic would make people uncomfortable or make you uncomfortable, Cheepy. When we start getting into the foundation of how some of these things work, we start to poke holes in perhaps your worldview a little bit. You're like, well, I'm not sure about that. When previously you said it was something that you know. So I could see why that would be a little uncomfortable and why you wouldn't want to engage in such a conversation. But that's what we do here. We drill into the foundational claims.
Okay. That's
fine. Well, I mean, it was our worldview too, and we're just asking those questions because those are what we asked ourselves, right? To challenge this worldview that we all have had, right? So,
and like that's the other thing is like we spend a lot of time shooting the breeze and goofing off and having fun. That's great, but we also spend a lot of time trying to get down to business, if you will. So if you're only in goof mode only, then it's like you might need to switch it up a little bit and find something that's valuable to you, as I requested, that we could discuss. That's why people are here. People tune into the YouTube to hear a discussion about flat Earth. We get on each other for not talking about that. When we go into long lengths of shooting the breeze about random stuff, people will start to chime in. Hey, get back to the topic. So we're requesting you to just find something that's valuable to you and stick to it, man. I'm not sure why that's so difficult.
It's not difficult.
Okay, well then, if it's not difficult, then do it.
Let's leave it at that then.
Well, that's where it starts. We don't leave it there. We start there. So, do you have something else?
Okay.
Sunsets?
All right, so I can't just sit. All right, here. I'll just be a listener. How about that?
I want to ask you a question.
Says the guy
you knew that you were miseducated, right? But that miseducation would advance you in life, right? Climb the corporate ladder, whatever it is, whatever you want to do to help you, because everybody else is similarly miseducated. Versus, realizing that you were miseducated and correcting the thoughts that you, the ideas that were put in your head that are incorrect, right? So, which would you choose? Would you choose to be miseducated because it gave you an advantage in life, or would you choose to know the truth?
I don't think anyone reasonable would choose to be uneducated. I think most.
Well, I mean, if it has a practical result, right? Because that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying just being miseducated. Miseducated has a practical advantage.
Yeah, I guess it's not.
I mean, say you want to be a school teacher, right? You couldn't run around saying you're a flat earther. You're probably not going to get hired.
Yeah, no, you're right. I would say you're right.
So there's a social stigma to flat earth, which makes some people not even consider it, right? They'll only take it into their mind so far, but there's like a wall that says, shit, I don't want to be a flat earther. And they think of all the consequences of it, right? All the social consequences. Does that sound scientific? Like that whole scenario? And that anyone can recognize, right? That anyone that is publicly says that they're a flat earther is going to get social shaming and ridicule.
Yeah, I was going to say that's just like a social thing.
Yeah.
I think that it's
like coming out as a heretic and
emotional.
Well, my point is, if there was science and truth behind it, why does the social shaming and ridicule exist? Right? Why wouldn't it just be like, oh, dude, like this is, here's our evidence. Because we deal with this all the time. We have a name. We've dubbed them anti-flat earthers, right? They come in here and they don't try to prove the globe at this point. They just try to they don't talk about flat earth. They talk about flat earthers. Oh, all you guys think this and all you guys think that. And oh, you guys just deny this. And and they talk about us. They don't talk about the issues, right? They and they're in our YouTube chat. They're saying the same things. Like, so you have all these these tactics that have nothing to do with the underlying truth of the claim that the Earth's a globe of 3,959 mile radius. It's all this other stuff, this social, psychological, sociological nonsense that will never get to the truth of the matter. Like, why does this even exist? Because it doesn't exist in other, say, like, okay, I don't believe in atoms. No one's going to freak out. No one's going to haha, there's a guy that don't believe in atoms. right? So, like, in other scientific, ideas, let's call it a scientific idea, even though it's really a geometric idea. But in other scientific ideas, you don't experience this. There's got to be a reason for that, right?
Yeah,
You think that there's something beyond
you're going against the grain. That's just the nature of doing.
Yeah, but you can go against the grain in other topics, and it's not like this. Look, I can talk about 9/11 conspiracy, and like people will be like, "No, you just don't this happened. There's thousands of witnesses, and they'll come up with all sorts of reasons, right? But it's not at the level of flat Earth. No one's telling me to drink bleach because I think I think Osama bin Laden didn't cause planes to smash into a building. No one's in my DMs sending me autopsy photographs. Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
no, I think that's just the nature
the type of shit that happens.
I just because like, are you in like a? Do you believe that 9/11 was a conspiracy?
Everybody does. Well, everybody believes 9/11 was a conspiracy. Well, do you think one person did it?
No, I don't.
Well, let me ask you: did one person do 9/11? A single person?
I don't know.
Was it a solo job? Was it a lone wolf nutter? Was it Lee Harvey Oswald? Just one person?
No, wasn't it like two pilots?
Well, if there's a conspiracy is anything involving more than one.
More than two people. I'm sure.
Okay,
but I don't,
there's more than one person. So Cheepy, a conspiracy is anything involving more than one person.
No, I know. The point that I was going to try to make was that, like, I think it's your perception of like the pushback is amplified because, like, you're not in a server that discusses 9/11 conspiracy. You're in a flat Earth server.
I mean, we've talked about it here.
It's called the world, bro. It's called the world when you go outside and discuss this topic. This whole 9/11 thing is,
dude. I should give you a video of that dude going spaz.
I'm just saying, like, because you a lot of your focus is in flat Earth, it's gonna amplify whatever response you get from people.
Look, so, I've been involved in other topics before flat Earth.
Okay.
9/11 since the beginning, right? So I'm just saying I was involved in the whole 9/11s and inside job shit since November of 2001. It was almost immediate because there was an article on the internet called "Muslims Suspend Laws of Physics." It was published by a person named Webberry, and so I'm totally versed in that entire debate, dialogue, everything that happened. Beginning, and I followed the whole thing all the way to the point it is now, and it's nothing like this. It's not even remotely similar to what we go through here. I'm serious. I know, like, because you're not familiar, into this topic. You don't know from your own experience, but it's nothing similar. Yeah. Legit, they've tried to get people fired, lose their job, their professional licenses taken away.
I don't agree with that. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. Well, I mean, I'm just saying that is like, so Richard Gage, architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, no one went and tried to take away his professional license. No one tried to get him fired from his job, or any of the other architects or engineers that are signed on to in his little group there. Right? There was a mechanical architectural engineer named Brian Mullen, and he did a series on flat Earth. It was called "Balls Out Physics," and he just made a couple arguments about how you can't land planes on a spinning ball, and just a couple. He made like 5 videos. People went and tried complain to his licensing board, because you got to have a professional license to do engineering for architecture. Tried to do that. Tried to get him fired. He basically had to disappear himself off the internet in order not to lose his job.
Yeah, that's shitty.
Yeah, and that's just one example. I have more examples. So the point is that this topic has a particular stigma to it that's way beyond you're just science deniers.
All right, I understand that, and maybe it's just not my place. Maybe I just, maybe I just want to gauge.
Yeah,
But
well, I'm just like I'm just trying to like
that behavior is not cool. So
yeah, it's not cool. But I'm just saying is that it's like a red flag, right? There's just like all these little red flags, like that. This is like not a normal topic compared to other ones. So the head of YouTube, right? The head of YouTube, Susan, wherever her name is, she went and testified before Congress. Want to know what they talked about banning? Flat Earth. Not the fucking goddamn, the borderline child porn they got on there. They talked about banning flat Earth.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's very bizarre, right? So you can post shit about fairies, Bigfoot, aliens, sea monsters at the bottom of the ocean, no problem. Even though it's ridiculous, right? Flat Earth? Oh, that's ridiculous. Don't you dare talk about it. It's really strange. Anyway, it's kind of like all I have to say, man. It's beyond just like, this topic is very. It's like an octopus, man. Literally has its tentacles going everywhere, going back to the beginning of the concept of the globe, the history, Galileo, Rheticus, freaking Copernicus, Kepler, like that whole crew of people, Eratosthenes, and these are like the people that supposedly proved the Earth is a ball, and all these people have these weird checkered pasts. Like it's very strange. In and of itself, they don't mean anything, but it's like the totality of the circumstances. When you look at the big picture view of everything, you're like, what the hell is going on here? This is a train wreck. It's just like a little quick. I'll give you a quick. You know Joe Rogan is, right? So he interviewed a guy named Colin Brady. Now, Colin Brady claimed that he traversed Antarctica on foot from one side of the continent to the other. Right? So the thing about Antarctica is there's no water. There's no food. So he has to lug everything with him. But the thing is, all the thing about Antarctica is it's extremely dry. It's what they consider the world's largest desert. The relative humidity is about 20 to 30%. In a desert, you need to consume 1.5 gallons of water per day. So he had to lug all, yeah, something like 1.5, like 8 liters or something. So he had to lug all this water with him. He would have had to. So he tells this Joe Rogan this whole story about how he did this trek. But if you do the calculation of what he would have needed to actually do it, there's no way he could have carried that stuff. But that's not the big tell. The big tell is that he was like, oh, because it was like, he was sponsored and stuff. So they had like a GPS tracker telling you his progress. But eventually he disappeared. And his excuse was, my GPS tracker stopped working. So I navigated with a compass. Well, here's the weird thing about Antarctica. There's actually 2 South Poles in Antarctica, and if you bring a compass there, it just spins in a circle. And this is easily demonstrable. There's plenty of videos of it on the internet. People just whipping out their compass in McMurdo Station and just spinning in a circle. So now this guy is 100% lying. There's no doubt he's lying. Can't navigate with a compass in Antarctica. It's not possible. Okay? He can't navigate with the stars because it's 24-hour daylight, right? He said his GPS was broken, so how did he navigate? Now, you got to remember, Antarctica is basically a giant ice sheet. There's no features. There's no trees. There's no, mountains. It just basically looks like a giant sheet of ice at 9,000 foot above sea level. So almost 2 miles above sea level. So why does this whole story exist? It's a complete bullshit story.
What episode was that? I'm curious.
I don't know what the episode number is, but it's Joe Rogan and Colin Brady. COLINBRADY.
Colin Brady. Okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I gotta listen to that one because I do listen to JRE once in a while, but I haven't heard this one.
Yeah, so like these little discrepancies, they pile up. So there's like 24-hour sun videos, right, of Antarctica. This proves the Earth's the globe. There's like 5 of them. 5. So, Antarctica's supposed to be a scientific station. You're not supposed to go there, just dedicated to research. But there's thousands, and I'm not shitting, thousands of 24-hour sun videos from the Arctic. There's 5 from Antarctica. In every single one, I shit you not, has some fucked up thing in it. One where the watch, like they filmed the watch at the same time, and then like the whole line of the watch just loses its pixels. It squishes and then pops back up. Same clouds repeat, people walking backwards, freaking, every single one has some weird fucking problem with it. And you're going, why? You could be a flat earther and say, well, it's a fake or whatever, but every single one has something demonstrably fake. It's not like we're just like, it must be a fake video. There's something demonstrably fake. We can literally like superimpose one of the videos, the sun. It's filming the sun, and the sun doesn't twinkle, man. It's like rays. It looks like someone copy-pasted like the sun with the rays shooting off it, and it's just static the entire time. Even though clouds are going in front of it, and like they're all messed up. The point is that there's so many of these little teeny, like, just innocuous. They don't seem like they mean anything in and of themselves. But when you look at all of them together, you're like, what the hell is going on? Because Captain Cook said that when he tried to circumnavigate Antarctica, he traveled 60,000 miles. The problem with that is the circumference of the Earth is supposed to be 25,000 miles. So how do you do that?
I don't know much about that.
And if I can piggyback on that, I think Captain Cook also said that his charts were off, that he always found himself off miles, maybe per day, where he thought he would be. So he was assuming a ball, but he was traveling a stationary plane. So not only did he go 60,000 miles, he was off from what his charts said they were supposed to be.
Also, he never got further south than 70 degrees south. Rarely got past actually 50 or 60. Those are rare occasions, and he never found a way through the ice.
You just remind me of another one. So they have a race around Antarctica. The record for this race, the record travel time, around Antarctica, it's supposed to be 14,000 nautical mile trip. The record is 101 days. In a carbon fiber racing yacht. Right? That's the record. Well, in the 18th century, the Thermopylae raced, what was the name of the other ship? I can't remember. So they raced from Shanghai to the United Kingdom, which is also 14,000 nautical miles. It only took, and they were fully loaded with cargo. Now I'm talking about a wooden clipper ship in the 1900s, or in the 19th century, so in the 1800s. They raced. It only took them 69 days. So how in the hell does a 19th century clipper ship loaded with cargo go faster than a modern carbon fiber racing yacht?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to look into it.
Yeah, there's just all these little teeny, like I said, none of them in and of themselves are definitive, but the totality of the evidence, any reasonable person has to at least say, there's something suspicious here.
Sorry, I was watching the video that Creation Bear posted.
It's really, I think it is somewhat of a tough. I think it is somewhat of a tough deal when you don't have a catalyst or something emotional that shows you that maybe you've been lied to your whole life. If it wasn't for what happened the last 39 months, when I realized that was all a joke, I would never be on the stationary or flat Earth side of things. I would still believe we lived on a globe. I wouldn't be advocating for it, but I would still believe we lived on a globe. So a lot of people like myself, we had to have a catalyst. We had to have something come into our lives that made us realize we were lied to about something. And then when we found out we were lied to about that, we decided to look at other things we were lied to, and the Earth came up, and that was actually real easy. Because you never experience curvature. You never see 8-inch drop rate. You never see any of that crap. So that was relatively easy. The virology one was harder. The cosmology thing was quite a bit easier.
Gotcha. Yeah, all right. I'll look into the Antarctic thing. That's interesting because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, Antarctica is a weird place, man. You know what the greatest danger is there? Dying of dehydration.
Which is pretty ironic, huh?
Yeah, it is strange. There's officially there's 4 rivers in Antarctica, and the longest one is 1.6 miles long.
What?
Yeah, or no, 1.6 kilometers. Sorry, not even miles.
That's funny. Let me see.
And on contrary to popular belief, it doesn't snow there. I think the average snowfall total is like 8 millimeters per year.
What?
It's basically just a big chunk of ice.
Well, yeah, because it's so big, right? Like,
yeah,
you're not
it's just
gonna have.
it's just a big chunk of ice at a very high elevation. Now, think low humidity, high elevation, 9,000 feet is the average. The average temperature, the average yearly temperature is negative 50 degrees Celsius. You think how fucked up of a place this is, right? Just from what I'm telling you. And do you know why you can't go there? Because they're protecting the environment.
That is kind of funny.
That environment is so it's
Bro,
so
we need
pristine.
protection from Antarctica. Shit.
No, that's what I'm saying, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. That place does not need protection. Like, how are you going to make it worse than it already is? You can't. There's nothing you can do to make it worse. So you can make it colder.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I agree. That's weird. Yeah, like what are humans going to do to disrupt that environment? We're going to drill for oil?
Good luck. I remember when I was a kid, right? They had documentaries, like the science documentaries. I might have saw it in school or on TV. Back then, they said it was about McMurdo Station. They'd landed a plane there, right? And it would the plane would come twice a year because they only had 4 or 5 people there, and they said that if they shut the engines off on the plane, they would never get it started again because it was so cold. Because the pistons would freeze in the chambers. Because they were using a B-2 military plane, and they also showed a plane that had gotten shut off and it never took off, and it was just parked there forever. You can't work on it, right? You're gonna have to. What are you gonna do? Fly in an entire freaking aircraft mechanic freaking facility to unseize the motor?
See, I think the highest it's ever gotten in the Antarctic region, as far as the temperature, the highest is 9 degrees Fahrenheit, and the lowest it's gotten is 135 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. And the Arctic region, the lowest it's ever got recorded is negative 89 degrees. That's 46 degrees difference, and we live on a ball, and we're supposed to get the same amount of sunlight north and south on the ball. That there just tells you, and when your average temperature is negative 50 centigrade, that is not even close to what it is in the Arctic, because there is vegetation in the Arctic region where there is none in the Antarctic region. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. We are all born into a prison system we cannot see, but once the veil is lifted, there's no turning back.
Listen, 1.4 million people live in the Arctic Circle. None live in the Antarctic Circle. Not a single human being has ever been born in the Antarctic Circle. And people have lived in the Arctic Circle for thousands of years. There's a huge asymmetry. Right, it's supposed to be a globe. It's supposed to be a ball. It's supposed to be symmetric, right? And everything like top should be like the bottom. So above the so-called equator in the northern part of the world is something like 81, or it's 89% of all the life, the species variations in human beings are in the north. In the south, it's like 11%.
Yeah.
So you got the entire so-called bottom of the globe has 11% of everything. As far as life goes, we're talking flora, fauna, human beings.
Is that because of landmass? Like the majority of landmass is north?
I mean, I guess you could make that argument, but like, well, what I guess.
I'm just looking at the map right now.
Well, because the thing about the southern part of the world is that there's a lot of desert. And Australia's a giant desert. Frickin' Chile and Peru are giant deserts, right? Antarctica's supposed to be a giant desert. Like, it's just desert.
Yeah. Because I'm just looking at a map, and most landmass is north. And then you have the equator, and then you have South America, Africa, part of Africa.
Yeah.
Then Australia.
But it's really weird because those continents, they look like they're close to Antarctica, but they're actually pretty far away.
Yeah.
They go close. They're like thousands of miles away. Just from like the Arctic Circle, never mind Antarctica.
Yeah.
Even that landmass argument, I mean, if it was symmetrical in terms of its biodiversity, you would still expect the same biodiversity, but just on a lesser scale, if there's less space for it.
Or in the ocean, right?
They say Antarctica.
Because if it's more water, then you should have more biodiversity in the water, right?
No, I just purely off of landmass. Like if you just look at a map. I'm not saying based off of.
It's more climate based, right? Because the climate's so different, it just doesn't have the biodiversity. It's different conditions, very harsh conditions, where basically nothing grows and nothing lives. But we can't go there because we need to protect the nothing that grows or lives.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And where nothing can grow.
Australia is pretty shitty, right?
Yeah.
And it's south of the equator, so.
Well, yeah,
got everything there that wants to kill you.
Yeah, like Antarctica's a different ballgame entirely, right? That's like 100-mile-an-hour winds, minus 80 Celsius temperatures. I mean, it's like if someone was designing a game and they were making an out-of-bounds zone that was just going to pretty much kill you instantly. That's kind of what they would make.
That's funny.
Yeah, like when you drown in Minecraft, you just like flash and you saw your hearts just drop.
Yeah. You got like 10 seconds to go back.
You get hit by a basic enemy, but they're like...
Yeah, you just die instantly.
Yeah.
That's like what it's like.
I think the thing that I've learned recently is, a couple centuries ago, they didn't call them maps. They called them charts. And charts back then were considered estimations of where you were. And so for some reason, we start calling them maps, and they're correct, and we can, rely on them. That's another lie that we've been told. And the thing that gets me about the southern latitudes is if we do live on a stationary plane, you have very few reference points that you can go by in the southern latitudes. So the southern latitudes, there's just no way of going, well, we know exactly how far it is, because you have so few reference points, where in the northern latitudes, you have a lot more of the land where 90% of people live. You have a lot more reference points, so you can be more accurate. But you cannot be accurate in the southern part of this world we live in. It's impossible. So I refuse to go by a map. If you want to call it a chart, great, but it's an estimation. So just remember, when you look at a map, that's not written in stone. That's an estimation.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Antarctic stuff, I gotta look into that.
Yeah, so something else about that too. Well, two things. Well, the Captain Cook thing, he tried to use celestial navigation and it didn't work, and he got his distance from dead reckoning, which is where you measure your speed and your time, and you dead reckon how far you've traveled. Celestial navigation was making him off by 50 to 60 miles per day, so it wasn't working for him, basically. And the Southern Ocean is crazy just as it is. We're talking like 60-foot swells. I mean, there's plenty of videos. Just go on YouTube, type sailing on the Southern Ocean, and watch the madness. Because it literally is madness.
So what should I look up to look more into this Antarctic? Is it you said Captain Cook? Is it the second voyage of James Cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a channel on the server, the Antarctica channel. I don't know if you've seen that. I'll link it to you. It's in the live stream voice text. There's a bunch of links and resources in there. Same with there's resource channels for loads of different topics: curvature, gravity, astronauts, NASA. Because there's loads of stuff you need to look into to sort of start piecing this together. Antarctica is just one of them, but yeah, it's an interesting piece.
Okay. Yeah, I'll read about this because I don't know anything about it. So.
Yeah, there's a treaty, man. There's an Antarctic treaty, man. The only thing the world powers can seem to agree on. Even North Korea is a signatory to it. And they don't even have boats.
Well, whoever we're just
they have nuclear weapons. They have nuclear weapons, but they got no boats, right?
Pretty much, man.
The live stream voice text. I just posted a video called Antarctica, Sorry, We're Closed. You should watch that. That goes through the treaty and explains what you can do, what you can't do. Pretty much explains why it's impossible for any independent people to go and explore the area. Just quickly, Obvious is asking to explain the censorship, which we're pretty much saying that on Google and YouTube, if you type in flat Earth, you type in Antarctica, close, any of this stuff, they'll just give you nonsense, right? It'll just give you hit pieces. So the algorithms are something that you need to get around, which is why we save all this stuff here on the server, so that you can kind of find it, because otherwise it gets all hidden. So you should definitely look at the resource channels, and if you've got particular questions, ask around here for what to look at and that kind of thing.
If you want to get, if you can find an honest appraisal of the Antarctic Treaty, December 1959 went into effect June of 1961. If you can get a good rendition of it, it's Article 6, paragraph 1 through 6, which talks about freely and privately exploring Antarctica and what you can do. So, some places have watered it down so much that they make you feel like, I can go visit anytime I want to. No, you can't. If you get the original documents, you'll see that Article 6, paragraph 1 through 6 says you can't freely and privately go. You can go, but you can't freely and privately go.
Yeah. So the Antarctic
Article 6, chapter 1 through 6.
Article 6, paragraph 1 through 6.
Paragraph. Sorry.
Yeah. So the Antarctica Treaty is enforced through domestic laws. So the countries that signed the treaty have all passed laws within their countries that make it illegal for citizens to freely go there. So in America, it's called Antarctica Protection Act or something. Right, and the fine for going there is something like 20 years in prison and $200,000, some ridiculous thing. So to get actual permission to go there, this is what I want to say. You have to bag out your own poop. Can't leave anything there. Like if you piss on the ice and you turn it yellow, you gotta chip that ice out, man, and bring it out with you. Take shit, you gotta bring that out with you.
Yeah, they say
anything there.
You can't take vehicles, you can't take animals, which would rule out sled dogs. You can't take fuel. They judge your application, and if they think there's a risk to, if I remember the quote right, it's disturbance of flora or fauna. So, like, if you are potentially tread on a fungus on your trip, they can deny your application, right? So there's really no way you can apply that they couldn't interpret as potentially interfering with flora and fauna. So even though essentially they tell us none exist there, other than some penguins, they can pretty much deny you any opportunity. You have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to make the application, and then when they deny you, you're not getting the money back. So, I mean, the process is so extreme, and the conditions are so prohibitive of any movement or exploration. It just essentially can't be done legally.
Yeah, and there's another caveat to that. Whenever a particular country approves somebody to go there, they have to notify all the other treaty member nations, and they have a right to say no. That's going to do whatever. Every single one, they have to notify. It's just a piece of mail or whatever, right? Go to the United Nations and you hand, hey, this is our list of people that are going there this month. I'll exchange lists. I think they actually maintain a database, probably. There's actually I remember the Antarctica Conservation Act, the Antarctica Conservation and Protection Act. That's in the United States. So if you want to go there from the United States, you need an EPA assessment. That's the Environmental Protection Agency. You need approval from the State Department. You need approval from the Antarctica Polar Program, which is run by the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration. And then they have to notify all the other treaty nations, and any of those other treaty nations can protest your trip.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, so when people are like, oh, why don't flat earthers just go to Antarctica, blah, 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 you see why that's a ridiculous proposition. I'm pretty
someone tried. And the caveat that, again, someone tried. There was a Norwegian named Jarl Anderhoy. He just tried to sail there. What ended up happening is he had a crew of 5. So him and another guy got on their 4-wheelers and drove around on the ice. When they came back, their boat was gone. It was sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What's this guy's name?
Jarl Anderhoy. I'll post a link in the chat to the story. Yeah, then he tried to go back and he never even made it. They arrested him. Somehow they were monitoring his communication in New Zealand, and before he got there, the Chilean Navy picked him up.
Yeah,
Jarl Anderhoy. Okay, I found him.
That's a pretty famous one. And there's one other person, a celebrity, that went and got their yacht taken away and paid tens of thousands of dollars in fines. So when they say, when Loon McToon and FTFE said, oh, you can go visit anytime you want to. Yeah, right. Okay. It's okay. It's great to lie. It's great to lie to protect your globe lie.
And there's
it has to be approved. That's the thing. I mean, we did it all over on a different server. We checked it all out. You can actually get a cruise. You can get a cruise. It's quite expensive. It's like $10,000 a ticket, but you don't get off the boat. So.
And if they do take you off the boat, they're just taking you into a little kind of shoreline bay area on the outskirts. They're not taking you onto the shelf.
It's around McMurdo Station. And McMurdo Station isn't even in the Antarctica Circle. So part of Antarctica is not even in the Antarctica Circle.
So one of the points.
So that's where they take you.
One of the points they'll take you to on one of the guided tours is a place called Deception Island.
Deception Island.
Deception Island. Funny name, right?
All the islands out there got weird names, man.
Yeah, like Rothschild Island and Deception Island and shit like that. Might as well call one.
Is that literally the name?
Yeah. You can Google Deception Island.
That is fucking wild.
The one of the videos as well is a bunch of fishermen who just, I guess, go too far south, and they just seem like a bunch of normal guys, probably half cut. And this massive battleship destroyer ends up pulling next to them and is like, "If you just don't turn around, we're gonna destroy your vessel." And they're like, "Oh shit, okay." And they're like, sounding alarms at them, going on a loudspeaker. So people are like, "Oh, you can go there." Nah.
Oh, here's another weird thing. So there's a website. I didn't realize there's so much on Antarctica. So there's a website called marinetraffic.com that shows the positions of boats, right, in the ocean, all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Go on there. You'll see boats inland in Antarctica, something like 500 miles. So if you look on the map, it'll be Antarctica, and you'll see a boat there.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just sitting on the ice.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. I bet I can't remember where. Someone,
I
I
don't know
think
how
it
you
was in here. I think it was like someone in here brought it. Was doing like a live stream of their screen.
Yeah, so I don't know how you sail a boat uphill inland on ice 500 miles.
That doesn't make any sense.
Onto a 200-meter shelf. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. You try and get there independently. There's a reason it took like the power of the U.S. Navy until the 1950s to even go and explore it. Because even if you sail out there, you're going to have to get up a shelf of like, what was it, 200 feet or something like that. So when you pull up on a boat, you're just coming face to face with this giant wall of ice, essentially. You do start
Which is where they
pickaxing
get
your way
the
up.
ice from. Ha ha.
Yeah, it's a crazy one.
Well,
Yeah,
anyways, I gotta get going. Yeah, I'm not here on bad faith. I just.
That's all right. Go check out the information. Yeah. Come back when you got
I'm
questions.
gonna look up Captain Cook, James Cook, right?
Yeah.
The second voyage of James Cook. So I'm gonna look into that. And also the Antarctic Treaty. You said Article 6, paragraph 1 through 6?
Yes.
Okay.
The video I posted goes through a lot of the sections and gives you the references to the sections. I'll tag you. I'll reply to it and tag you. So save it. Watch it in your own time. Because that'll give you references.
The GPS.
When you come back, we want you to go. The spinning space ball and the vacuum of outer space is BS, and I'm never going back. That's what we want you to say.
Well, I'm not gonna say it because you want me to. If I reach that conclusion, then
Just do your own research and go where the
I know.
evidence is. As long as you're honest. I mean,
yeah.
That's all.
I'll
Look at that boat out there. Look at that crazy shit. What doing?
Thing is, this isn't a one-off either. Antonio Subarets first noticed these like 3 years ago now.
What was the website for that data?
Marinetraffic.com.
Marine traffic. Okay.
It's also great for doing observations of ships at sea. You're going to do your own observation on the ocean or whatever. That way you can know, like, if you're observing a boat, you can know exactly how far away it is.
Gotcha.
Because it'll give you its position, right? You can calculate based upon its longitude and latitude what its position is relative to you. I've done this myself. I observed a boat 30 miles away from me, from 15 feet above sea level. So it's supposed to be like 400 feet under the curve of the Earth.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now, and there's a few points inland in Antarctica. A few fishing boats.
Yeah, they're not in their boats. They don't say buoys or anything like that because it'll designate whether it's a buoy or not, or some other structure.
To piggyback what Indio says, you don't need 616 miles and 700 miles of observations to prove we don't live on a spinning space ball. You only need, some people will say, with the frozen lake that Indio talked about, where the guy was 8 miles away and from the furthest one, he was using a P900 at 12 inches observation height and then 6 inches observation height. That can prove it real easily. The Utah laser test in 2021 from 18.8 miles definitely proves it. But if you get out to 28, 30 miles and your observation height is relatively low, and you should have 400 feet, gone, and it's there. I mean, my friend, you don't live on a ball. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm just fascinated by this data. All these boats. Holy shit! I didn't realize there were so many. The fuck? Looks like insects. But yeah, like I said, I gotta go. I'm gonna look into that stuff that you guys talked about as far as like Antarctica. Curious. But yeah, hope you guys have a good night.
You too.
Take care.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys haven't looked at what Indio talked about, the frozen lake, I believe it was in Wisconsin, where the guy put 4 lights out there and he used his truck to, to get like 5, 6, 7, 8 miles away, and his P900 was at 12 inches, and then he moved it down to 6 inches, and you could still see the 8-inch, the red light. I think it was red light from 8 miles away, and then you go to 2021 and go to the Utah test, 18.8 miles, 5 feet observation height on both lasers. There should be 149 feet where the curve, they can see each other. It was 34 degrees, water temperature 34 degrees, air temperature, perfect conditions, no ball. And with me, I just go to Indiana Dunes. From 28 miles away, you go right down on the sea, right down on the Lake Michigan. So I'm 8 feet observation. I can go right down to the water, and I can see Chicago. And there should be 401 feet of hidden height, and that's basically a 40-story building. And I can see all of Chicago. And those smaller buildings should be gone, and they aren't. So you don't need 616 miles or 700 miles. You just need very little, and you can prove it.
Tags! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.